Hello everyone, I just want us to look at how we can find the x-intercepts for a cubic function. Remember, there is a method that we use to solve cubic equations, that is the long division method. Sometimes the long division may be challenging to others. I'm going to show you a method that is going to make your life very easy. It's very easy. You don't need to do a lot of things. Just follow these steps that I'm going to show you. Okay, right? When you're required to find the x-intercepts of a cubic function, you're basically solving a cubic equation. Okay, so let's say we have a cubic equation like this: x cubed minus 5x squared, then minus 8x plus 12 is equal to 0. Okay, so what do? We start by looking for a value that will give us 0 if we substitute into this equation. You can try 1, try -1, try 2, try -2, like that. But I've done it. I've found that 1 will give us 0. So if we put 1 where there's x, we're going to get 0, right? And then minus 5, 1 squared, like that, 8, 1, then plus 12. This will give us 0. And then what is the meaning of that? If 1 is giving us 0, it means x minus 1 is a factor. Okay, it's one of the factors. Remember, a cubic function, we can have up to 3 factors. So it means x minus 1 is one of the factors. Then now we need to find the other factors. So what do? You just draw your table like this. Just follow these steps. You'll never go wrong. Draw your table like this, and then like this. And then here you write the number that gave you 0. So here it is 1 that gave us 0. You write it here. And then on top here, on the top of this line, you write your value for a, b, c, and d. All of them must be there. Okay, what do I mean by that? Let's say it's a, x cubed plus b, x squared plus c, x plus d. So all these must be there. A, which is the coefficient of x cubed, b, which is the coefficient of x squared, c, which is the coefficient of x, and then d, which is the constant. All of them must be there. So what does that mean? It means that, let's say you don't have this value here like this with x. You have to put 0. I'll show you in the next example, but now let's do these ones. Right, so our coefficient for x cubed is 1, coefficient for x squared is -5, coefficient of x is -8, and then the constant is 12, like that. And then the first thing you do, drop 1, write 1 there, and then you say this value 1 times 1. What do you get? You get 1. You write it underneath the next value like this. And then you just add these values as they are. So it's -5 plus 1, which is -4. And then say -4 times 1. Okay, and then what do you get? -4. Just add these numbers as they are. -8 minus 4, that is -12. And then -12 times 1, multiply with this, you get -12. Right, you see that? And then positive 12 minus 12 is 0. This last number must always give you a 0. Right, this is the coefficient of x squared, this is the coefficient of x, this is the constant. That's how you get the other factors. Okay, so we have x minus 1, and then 1x squared, -4x minus 12 is equal to 0. You see that? Then we can factorize this. We can find the factors here. It's going to be x minus 1, and then here we're going to have, it should be x minus 6, and then x plus 2 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 1, or x is equal to 6, or x is equal to -2, like that. Let's try the next one. Let's say we have another one which is like this: x cubed minus 4 x squared plus 8 is equal to 0. Right? Look for the numbers that can give you 0 if you substitute them where there's x. Right? You try 1, try -1, try 2, try -2. I found that 2 will give us 0. Right? If you substitute 2 there, and then we'll get what? We'll get 0 plus 8, like that. This is equal to 0. Then what does that mean? It means that x minus 2. Okay, please take note of the change in the sign. Right, the first one, f of 1 gave us 0, so x minus 1 was a factor. Okay, if f of 1 gives you 0, then x minus 1 is a factor. If f of -1 gives you 0, then x plus 1 will be the factor. So here we have f of 2 giving us 0, so it means x minus 2 is a factor. Okay, so now we need to find the other factors. Do the same thing. Draw your table like this. You draw your table like this, then draw your line like this. Then the value that gave you 0 is 2. You write it there, and then we must have our 4 numbers here. The coefficient of x cubed is 1. The coefficient of x squared is negative 4. What is the coefficient of x? We don't have it. It's not there. So it means that the coefficient of x is 0. So you write 0. And then the constant is 8. So every time you must have 4 numbers at the top there. Drop 1. And then you have 1. And then 1 times 2 is 2. You write it there. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 times 2, that is negative 4. Write it there. Then 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Then negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. Do you see that? We're getting 0 at the end. So this is the coefficient of x squared. This is the coefficient of x. This is the constant. So it means we have x minus 2. And then we also have x squared minus 2x minus 4 is equal to 0. Right, if you try to factorize this, you find that we cannot factorize it. So we can use actually the quadratic formula. So x is equal to 2, or we can say x is equal to minus negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 2 squared minus 4. A is 1, and then c is negative 4, like that. Okay, substituting the quadratic formula, and then 2, 1, like that. And then you can get x is equal to 3,24, or x is equal to negative 1,24, like that. Okay, so you have these 3 answers. That's what you can do. Okay, let's just do the last one. Right, let's say we have this one, which is 1 plus 3x minus 4x cubed is equal to 0. Obviously we have to arrange this so that in standard form. Negative 4x cubed plus 3x plus 1 is equal to 0. Again, find the numbers that will give you 0 if you substitute them into this equation. So 1 will give us 0. So f of 1 is like negative 4 1 cubed plus 3 1 plus 1 is equal to 0. So 1 gave us 0. So it means x minus 1 is a factor, is one of the factors. Okay, now how do we find the other factors? We draw our table. The number that gave us 0 is 1, so we write it there. And then here we write the coefficient of x cubed, which is negative 4. Then coefficient of x squared is not there, so it means it is 0. Write 0. Coefficient of x is 3, then constant 1. See, we have 4 numbers there. The first one, drop the first number, negative 4. And then negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Then 0 minus 4 is negative 4. Then negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Then 3 minus 4, that's negative 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Then we get a 0 there. This is the coefficient of x squared. This is the coefficient of x. This is the constant. So we have x minus 1. And then negative 4x squared minus 4x minus 1. Right, we can divide everything by negative 1 here so that we have 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. But it's fine. You can use the quadratic formula as it is. Right, so you can say x is equal to 1, or you can use our quadratic formula. X is equal to minus negative 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 4 squared minus, and then 4, negative 4, then negative 1, like that. And then over, then 2 times negative 4. Okay, and then you get that x is equal to 1 over 2, or x is equal to 1 over 2. So it's just x equal to 1 over 2, or x is equal to 1, like that. So this is a method you can use to find the x-intercepts of what? Of a cubic function.